580,466. That is the number of homeless individuals in America as of January 2020, as reported by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. However, the number of homeless individuals worldwide is likely to be farther than the data suggests, considering that homeless individuals may be residing in a car or other impermanent situation at any given moment, making a proper assessment of the homeless population notoriously impractical.
The problem of homelessness has been getting worse in this country compared to a few years ago. From 2007 to 2016, it had been going down pretty steadily every year. Starting in 2016, it's been creeping up every year, including this year.
How did we get here, though? How did a nation with such wealth and prosperity end up with more than 500,000 Americans living on the streets and in shelters?
Homelessness can happen to anyone at any given moment for a variety of reasons, but as of recently, the most common reason is a growing shortage of affordable housing. For many Americans, housing is now out of reach due to recent sharp increases in accommodation costs. With housing costs growing and citizens not being paid decent salaries, homelessness and a lack of accessible and permanent housing continue to increase. And as newly elected members of the United States Congress, we would enact regulations that would make the dream of owning a home or simply getting off the streets a reality for more residents.
Although after hearing what unhoused people go through, it may be hard to believe that there are people out there who don't want to help, but there are. Many who are more financially comfortable look down on the homeless as if they deserve to be where they are. That is why awareness is so important. There is a large stigma around addiction and mental health, making it harder for people to get help if they need it. And even if they want to try to better their lives, they are not always able to.
Even you high school students can get involved to show respect, dignity to a fellow human being, and make them feel like they have that they're a respectful member of our community. I don't know your background, you don't know my background, but we don't know the background of a homeless person. It might be a homeless woman out there who might have started out like you, a young girl in grade school or high school and enjoying life, and what happened in her life to make her now living on the streets homeless? What opportunities did she have, or what opportunities does she not have? It doesn't matter why she is where she is today. What matters is what can we do to help her get out of the situation, or him out of the situation that he's in today.
It is not as simple as just getting a job, as many companies do not want to employ people without housing or who may be struggling. It even comes down to appearances and if they seem presentable enough to be respected.
Indulging in their addiction may be the only constant thing in their lives, and instead of looking down on them, we should remove the stigma and thrive for a society that doesn't judge but rather helps.
The issue with affordable housing relating to homelessness is extremely profound. Without affordable housing, people may be left with no other choice but to live on the streets. Many may say that shelters are a good option, which they can be, if only they weren't so packed.
New photos showing people crowded into homeless shelters.
This picture from the New York Post may begin to explain why. It shows people sleeping on the floor of an overcrowded Bellevue men's shelter.
The housing component gets to what I call the Maslow factor, and that is when you're looking at the priority of needs and you're racking and stacking, it is clear in my observations that safe, secure, and dry shelter is paramount for many of these veterans. If they don't obtain that, then their hopes of getting the treatment and wellness and other issues rectified are greatly minimized.
Now, as resources are depleted and protections expire, low-income renters are faced with rising inflation, skyrocketing rents, eviction filing rates that are reaching or surpassing pre-pandemic averages, and in many communities, increasing homelessness.
So homelessness is a tough issue. There's no easy solutions, and if we had easy solutions, it would certainly, we wouldn't have the problem, right?
As we can observe, homelessness is increasing at an alarming rate, making it extremely important that Congress intervene. There is no excuse for any American to not have a roof over their head in a country as fortunate and generous as America. It is part of our obligation as a country to ensure that everyone has access to safe and affordable housing, because caring for America also entails caring for its citizens. A significant transformation in public perception of homelessness will be necessary before anything can be changed through governance. There will need to be a dissection of mainstream narrative. The policies as well as institutions must be reoriented towards restoring public order and rehabilitation. Further, making mortgages more affordable and lessening inflation rates are paramount. If we lower inflation rates and lessen the amount paid per month and instead add more months for cheaper, many individuals would have a better chance of moving into one of the many empty homes in this country. Ultimately, while it won't be simple, doing this is what is necessary to change the tragic situation of the thousands of individuals who are currently sleeping on the streets of one of the most affluent and powerful nations.